Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And isn't he precious? Isn't he precious?
Yeah, that's the word.
We're going to talk about the Gollum video game getting
God.
absolutely savaged. In fact, the backlash is so severe that the developer had to apologize for the game. They apologized for the game. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Woohoo, precious. I can't do Gollum. So I don't know what to make of this game. I watched some gameplay footage of it. I don't know why people thought this game was a good idea. It doesn't even look like Gollum. It looks like a child.
Well, apparently
a naked child.
Well, some people like that. Apparently,
Disney
a lot
style.
of people on Twitter. No, when you saw the concept art, it looked considerably better. Like, how we know about this is because Squid King was like, "Oh my God, did you see the Gollum game?" And we're like, "No, what?" And he said, "Here's what they showed people it was going to look like." And it's like, "Okay, that looks like Gollum. Here's what it actually looks like." It's like your profile picture versus reality, you know.
Yeah, this looks like a Tinder date gone wrong. But yeah, he basically, it looks like, again, it doesn't look like movie Gollum. There's probably reasons. He doesn't look like movie Gollum for rights or whatever, but he looks like an anemic, naked child just crawling around for hours. Very, very shitty looking game. Apparently people hate it. It's getting savage. And it was so bad, the backlash was so bad that the developer had to come out and issue an apology. So we're gonna take a look at this first. This coming from Kotaku. When Kotaku hates it, it's either really, really good or really, really bad, right? Lord of the Rings game about Gollum is getting absolutely roasted. The stealth adventure game has been blasted as broken, unpolished, and not very fun. Not very fun. More than a few people scratched their heads when they announced they were making a Lord of the Rings Gollum game. The twisted creature turned into a mid-aught CGI icon. Okay, thanks to Andy Serkis, he is nowhere to be found.
No.
It's a $60 PlayStation game?
Is it $60?
$60.
$60 for that? Okay.
So this is Kotaku. They watched...
I'm sure someone worked very, very hard.
Yeah, I know. Kotaku probably did not get a review copy because everybody hates them. Well, that's the thing. If you hate
We're
Kotaku,
thankful this time.
give them a copy and say you have to review this. So they watched snippets of the playthrough that leaked on YouTube earlier this week, which showed graphics that looked markedly worse than what was in
You should do
the
this one on
promotional
the gaming
images.
channel.
I should.
It's so
I really should.
bad.
Most of the
Yeah, this is what he was showing me.
Wait,
I can't. You look at the comparison. I just can't. What the fudge?
oh god! Most of the action focuses on Gollum platforming around environments and avoiding guards. It's like Metal Gear Solid.
Well, so that's the whole game. You
But
just
not
go around different places and don't get caught.
Yeah, I'm like, how can you do anything as Gollum? You basically you just skulk around as a naked child.
And hope that no one sees you.
It's
It's like you kid at night when they want to sneak into your bedroom because they're they're scared. You know what I mean?
when the naked child comes in your bedroom at night and you call the authorities.
I mean, because you have kids, right? If you have kids and they're scared and then they don't want to get in trouble, they'll sometimes sneak into your room. Apparently, I used to do this as a child, and my mom says she used to have almost have a heart attack because she'd be sitting there and then suddenly feel like she wasn't alone. Well, she wasn't. My dad was there, but you know what I mean. And then all of a sudden, like the Great Pumpkin, I would rise from the bottom of the bed, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" And then I'd be like, "Can I sleep in here?" Because I grew up in a house that was haunted, though, so I mean, I had reasons, but still.
I was not allowed to go into the bedroom unless it was an absolute emergency.
Like arm missing emergency.
Yeah, like, okay, if your arm fell off, you can come into the bedroom. But for the most part, I knew, like, once that door is shut, I was out. I was not allowed in there. Anyway, yeah, so this is before and after. Gollum, this is Alex Avard, I don't know who this is. Morning Gollum is one of the worst games I've played in a while. Okay, Games Radar.
You gotta play this game on the channel.
If you can't be bothered to read the full review, the difference between the promotional screenshot and the actual game is a decent summation. Why?
Right, that's what Squid King showed me. He's like, this is what they told us we were getting. this is what we got. It's kind of like No Man's Sky originally, but not as bad. I mean, No Man's Sky wasn't as bad as this.
Yeah, No Man's Sky, so...
They fixed it.
They fixed it. It actually is the game they promised now, but it took them like 5 or 6 years to get there.
Instead of pushing it back, they still released it anyway.
Well, no, I think the reason they did it, I'll tell you that, because right now, this is what irritates, and we're going to get to that, because this is what irritates me the most about modern gaming, is that companies put out unpolished, subpar products because they know they can fix it with a patch later. It used to be like the game better be damn well finished because it's going on a cartridge or a CD, and that is it. It's done. There is no update. Like that's it. Now it's like, it's okay. We'll just put out some half-baked shit, and then like in 6 months we'll do an update to it, and in about 3 years it'll be the game it should have been.
This is what you expected, and this is what you got from Wish.
Yeah, Wish. This whole thing. Like, this is not, look, between this and the Amazon show, like, there is no hope for Lord of the Rings as a franchise going forward. There really isn't. So, yeah, it's got 38 on Metacritic.
Oh, that's so bad.
This is Inverse, a derivative, uninteresting, and fundamentally broken stealth action adventure that fails to capture anything interesting about Tolkien's fiction. That's The Guardian. Gollum is full of technical problems that make an otherwise unpleasant experience even worse, and the game's boring story makes it hard to recommend, even to the most hardcore Lord of the Rings fans.
This just sounds more and more like one we should play.
GameSpot, 2 out of 10.
Oh my god.
Digital Trends refused to even score it. First time we've ever done this. But the version of Lord of the Rings Gollum we were given to review on PS5 was so non-functional ahead of its day one patch.
Okay, patched it since.
Yeah, we could not dignify it with a scored review in good faith.
So basically, instead of risking you never sending us anything again, we're just not going to review it at all until it's fixed because we don't want to, end up on the hit list like Otaku.
So yeah, everybody, this is Forbes. This is Kotaku.
Cast it into the fire.
Destroy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So the PS5 scores actually. This is a PS5 game. It looks like a PS2
We gotta
game.
play this.
Oh my god. So anyway, it is getting completely blasted. So much so that the developers had to release an apology statement. This is coming from Polygon. Lord of the Rings Gollum Game Studio issues apology for the game's many bugs. We'd like to sincerely apologize for the underwhelming experience many of you had.
These gaming developers need to understand that, I understand people want things out. But if it's not ready, then you say, oh, we're sorry. We're going to be delayed for, so many months or a couple years because it's not like, you should have done with No Man's Sky. And they don't. They put it out and then it causes a huge backlash. They fix it, you said, eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
But you really shouldn't do that because I think the PR damage is worse to do this than it would be for people to be mad. And some people ask their money back if it's going to be delayed.
It kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk came out, it was broken. It was so bad they had to pull it out of the Sony store. I don't know why they thought they could do Cyberpunk on... I think it was PS4. I think they're trying to do it on PS4.
Oh, that's right. It didn't work on the PS4. God. That's right. I remember, yeah.
And somebody put a compilation of all the apologies from all these game studios. And again, they're under pressure from their corporate overlords to release these games, as soon as they can, even if they're not ready.
But like I said, again, I would argue that doing so actually is worse for PR and financials than it would have been just to say, hey, we're going to wait a few more months.
Yeah.
Or a year or whatever.
We'd like to sincerely apologize for the underwhelming experience many of you have had with the game. We acknowledge and deeply regret that the game did not meet expectations we set for ourselves and for our dedicated community. Please accept our sincere apologies for any disappointment this may have caused.
Here's the whole statement.
Yeah, let's go out and read this here. And then people have put together kind of a compilation of all the apologies. Our goal as a studio and as passionate Lord of the Rings fans has always been to tell a compelling and immersive story-driven adventure. Crafting a story with Middle-earth as our playground has been the greatest honor and the biggest challenge we have faced so far.
I'm sorry, when you think of this as a half-naked child, like you were describing it, it makes it so much more funny. Anyway, go ahead.
We understand that a game's success relies on the enjoyment and satisfaction of its players.
I'm sorry, see, I'm telling you, if you think about that when you read it.
We genuinely value your feedback and have been actively listening to your voices, reading your comments, and analyzing the constructive criticism and suggestions you've provided. Do they have a template for this? Is this like, hey, AI, generate me a sincere, full-throated apology for either a shitty game or a failed Kickstarter, and go. Our development team has been working diligently to address the bugs and technical issues many of you have experienced. We're now building a time machine to go back in time and never make this game. You happy? No. We're committed to providing you with patches that will allow you to enjoy the game to its fullest potential. Once again, we deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused, and we appreciate your understanding during this time. We'll continue to keep you updated as our progress and provide transparent communication regarding the upcoming patches and improvements. Your passionate, dedicated players, dedicated, determined, we love you. Please don't sue us.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
No, I mean you.
Yeah, well, they all read the same. And somebody actually brought this up. This is a kid's skull here. The cycle continues. So, Forspoken, same thing.
We listen to all your feedback and hard at work with the upcoming patch.
Yep.
That will include improvements to overall performance. We are committed to make it the most enjoyable.
Halo Infinite.
We know this is disappointing for you. We share sentiment, the passion, support, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Jedi Survivor. Yeah.
We are working to address the cases quickly.
Here's Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was a mess.
So here's the solution. One, if you're going to make a game, make sure it's a game people actually want to play, that there's an interest in. Lord of the Rings games, yeah. Gollum, most.
Just don't get caught. It's Gollum, don't get caught.
Now, are we still talking about the naked child?
No, we're talking about Gollum, don't get caught. That's basically what the game is.
Gollum, escape from the island. Anyway.
I just got that. It took me a moment.
So.
I'm sorry. That's not okay.
They should just call it like Gollum Precious.
It's called Gollum, don't get caught. Is what it is. Because it's basically like, don't get seen. That's the whole game, right?
Oh my God. Can't wait to get this for $15 on Black Friday. 15's too generous. People need to stop buying games on release. These poor releases are
getting out of hand. I agree.
This is the problem with modern gaming. This is like, again, back in the day, games were not released until they were as good as they possibly could be. I mean, obviously we got shitty games. There are lots and lots of shitty games. But now they're so lazy about it. They're just like, well, yeah, this is just like kind of basically the beta, but we're going to charge $60 for this. And it'll eventually be an okay game in about 2 years if people still care. And that's what happened with, No Man's Sky.
That's the one I think of. The No Man's Sky is the one I think of initially. Because I remember how disappointed Squid King was. Because all he wanted was No Man's Sky. He looked forward to it so much. And then it came out and he got it and he's like, I mean, even then it was still better than this. Don't get me wrong. But it was nowhere near what was promised. And they were refunding people's money and all kinds of stuff. And they have it up to the place they said they would now. And he likes the game now. But he was one of the ones that were so excited about it. And then it came out and he was like, what is this? What a jip.
Yeah, and they've got these. They had to have known. When they were working on this game, they had to have known, like, this is a shit show, but we are contractually obligated to release it. Yeah, so I don't... Good luck with that. Again, this is more brand damage for Lord of the Rings. This is they're going to be making more movies now. Embracer Group's got it. So if all of the Lord of the Rings content going forward is as good as Gollum and is as good as Amazon's The Rings of Power, boy oh boy, here's another franchise we're just going to burn to the freaking ground. I think now, in retrospect, we can see why Christopher Tolkien was so persnickety about how his dad's stuff was being used. I mean, people said he was being ridiculous. This is what happens when he's gone. This is what happens when Christopher Tolkien's out of the picture. You get Gollum. You get the power of the rings. You get all this garbage that I'm sure we're going to get coming down the pipeline because it's just product at this point. I'm going to wrap this up.
Yep.
All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye. Sorry, I yelled loudly.
That's okay. I got the limiter on.
Okay. So
you can tell my kick
setting.
Yeah, you can
Wait,
tell.
really? It automatically limits it when I yell?
It does. When the pitch gets too high, it does. Sometimes if you sound like all robotic, it's because it's bringing the decibels down.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.